with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much for being with us this evening. Before we get started, can we have a roll call, please, Mr. Muller?
Mr. Eric.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cranston.
Sir.
Mr. Littleton.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Morgan.
Here.
Ms. Scruggs Duncan. Mr. Umstead.
Yes.
Mr. Woodson.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Our first item tonight is 26-131. That is the instructional spotlight for Covington Middle School highlights instructional alignment.
Chairman, members of the board, it's my pleasure to introduce several staff members from Covington Middle School who will be presenting tonight, and they're focused on math.
You're good.
Good evening. I'm Terry Shepard, and I teach Math 8 and Algebra 1 at Covington Middle School. Tonight, along with my colleagues, we're going to present a brief presentation about the successes, strategies, and challenges that we face teaching math at Covington Middle School. Our math team is composed of Maddie Six, Addie Holzapfel, and Tanner Ayer, who can't be here tonight. He's with their basketball team in Blacksburg. Krista Wimmer, and Victoria Bogus, and Jennifer Miller. Jennifer and I teach Math 8 and Algebra 1 both, and Crystal and Victoria are the Math 7 teachers. In September of this year, the Virginia Department of Education and the Virginia Board of Education decided to make some changes to the math SOLs. They came up with the decision to make them more vigorous, more rigorous, and increase the ability of the students to more closely match the national standards. Among the changes, one of those that directly affected the math department at Covington Middle School was the changes in the SOL cut scores. The current math cut score is 400. The new cut scores were going to be much different and higher than that, and we were suddenly faced with the idea that we were going to have to totally change our way of teaching and our curriculum in order to better prepare our students for these new SOL standards.
But we actually, on November 13th, DOE actually provided us a new plan. And so now we thought the scores were going to be raising for this school year, but they're not. So this school year, we're going to have a 400 pass rate. And then they're going to phase in higher and higher scores the next couple years until we get to those higher levels that they wanted. So this is going to give us some time to improve the rigor and to more align our instruction with what they want. So higher level test questions, things like that. We've been working on that for a long time. And then this is also going to give us more time, like I said, and then we can use our data. We're doing benchmarks through CIP, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this just gave us some time, so we were very excited that they phased in this plan for us and gave us some more time to have to work on our scores.
Hey y'all. What you see here, I'm on my small block, which way I look at. We got together as a math department in different teams by grade level early on in the summer, and these are just samples of the pacing guide. This is the Algebra 1. You can see that we have all the standards, so it's aligned with the standards, and it includes the holidays and when the quarter's in and all the important things, the benchmarks and the SOL. Everything's outlined. We planned for it with some, cushion days in there to give us room to adjust as needed. So this is a sample of the Algebra 1 pacing guide, and then of course there's Math 8, and there's Math 7, and then Math 6. So they're all very similar, but they're aligned according to the pacing guide that the CIP put out for us to follow.
Okay, we set up a table that showed, this is comparing first quarter benchmarks. And in the fall, that shows the pass rates of fall 2024 last year for each 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So now with the same cut scores that we were using then, here's the percentage, and you can tell we greatly increased these from last year till this fall. And then with the new cut scores, we put that in there, and it's still a major increase, even with the new cut score. So we're happy about that. All right, last year we compiled all this data. We had 5th grade from last year, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And we put all SOL scores from like 5th grade all the way up to 8th grade, their benchmark scores, their final grades, how many times they'd missed math class, different things like that, that we could see if there were patterns for kids, what we could look at. And we even shared it with the high school. They have the data now because they had our 8th grade now as their freshmen. So that's helped a whole lot as well.
In addition to the pacing guides, we also have, these are just some of the different programs and resources that we've been provided to help us improve the rigor of our instruction. We use all of these pretty much on a weekly basis with Zern and Excel, MathSpace. MathSpace is the new textbook. We'll talk about that in a little bit. These coach books for review. And then this math workshop, we'll talk more about that too as well. And the CIP, of course, that's the whole district, we're in that. But these are just some of the resources that we use every day with our kids. And strategies, we got together a lot starting last year as a department, and we talked about what strategies we needed to change to meet the needs of our kids and how to help them be better. And so some of those things were the reasoning techniques, which Crystal will show you here in just a little bit, and the turn and talk. We changed our focus to a more student-centered learning environment where we have the kids doing a lot more and us being more facilitators than the doers. We worked really hard on unpacking the standards so that we would have a better understanding of what exactly they needed to know from us to be successful. We incorporated strategies classes in all 3 grade levels so that we could reach those kids who were really struggling, that just consistently showed that math was just not their strongest. So we pulled them into a class to where we could work with them better every day. 6th grade benchmark boot camp, that was something that Ms. Holzapple and Mr. Arrett, they did that, and she can talk more about that. But it was more of like a student-centered activity to help them prepare for the first quarter benchmark. MathSpace is the new the textbook, and it comes with technology that we use in the class, the rigorous pacing calendars that you saw, and then of course remediation and tutoring that we offer as well at the middle school.
Okay, here is one of our strategies that we have sort of incorporated in our class. So Mr. Tyler, Skip Tyler, that's been helping us, he said you really need to get your kids to start talking. And he would even give us examples, and we have kids that hate math. So if we always just start out with a math problem, do you think they're going to communicate with everybody else? No, they're going to sit back there and just be just a fly on the wall or something. So I have used this one in my classroom, and I just put this up, and I just say, what is this doing? And they all get their little idea. Then I say, turn and talk to your neighbor, discuss what you have done, what you have decided on this. So I'm going to ask you guys, does anybody know anything, what do you notice on this map?
There's a lot of red in Southern California.
Okay. All right, go to the next one, Addie. All right, so this is with a population of 10 million, according to the 2019 census. The single county of LA outpopulates a vast majority of the United States, as shown above. So they have more people in LA County than all of these states that are in blue. Now, with kids not knowing their geography, a lot of it, I got some really far-reach answers out of this.
Some of our kids thought that was Covington.
Yeah, I mean-
Covington,
So. All right, you go to the next one. So since that time, then I show them this one. Since that time, North Carolina just makes it past LA County's population of 10.49 million people, while Georgia's population comes in at 10.62 million. So they have increased since that came out. But these kids, we have done numerous one of these. And it can just be the simplest thing of, do you want ketchup poured over your fries, or are you a dipper? And they get talking and they will argue. I mean, they are like in a jury. I mean, they are in the courthouse. They're saying, no, my way's right. But they have begun to talk a whole lot more. All right. So then we bring up a math question. We're not solving it. It says Kevin says this one is the biggest, but Shauna says this one is the biggest. Who is right and why? So this would be a scientific notation topic that we're doing. And we have to order and compare. So this is a typical question they may see. So we tell them to look at this, then turn and talk again. The turn and talks have been, I have seen a vast improvement in some kids' confidence in their math. If they just talk to their friend, hey, they got it right. And before, if I just call it on them, I don't know. Or raise your hand if you know the answer. They would just sit back there. So this has really helped a lot.
The comprehensive instructional program is one that we use a lot, more than probably a lot of our other things, because this is what our foundation is set on. We're in a consortium with a bunch of other school districts in Virginia, and they take our data and they basically tell us what we're weak in, what we're strong in, and what we can do better in. So they make our benchmarks that we take each 9 weeks, and then we pull that data. They also look at our data, and then we kind of use that as a framework of how we're going to continue with our lessons. So all of them are aligned with the SOL, and we take the quarterly benchmark tests, and then of course we take the SOL at the end of the year. And then they give us a lot of good data like this one, and I'll go back to that in a second. But this tells us basically for 7th grade, if your students are scoring in the 50 and 60 percentile on their first 9 weeks benchmark, 67% of those students are probably going to pass their SOL just based on that first 9 weeks benchmark. So we've got our 2024 data and our 25 data. So we can kind of use these to help us see which one of our students needs help, what kind of the trajectory they're going to be making for that school year, and then if we need to give them any remediation. And then the one that was this back slide, and you guys have this, but these are all of our pacing guides that we use for the whole year. So they're SOL aligned, and we use them from 6th grade through Algebra 1.
So we're doing everything we can to try to change the story, and so a lot of us have this sticker on our laptop. I know I do. It came from Skip Tyler in this workshop. We've been participating, well, I'm new, but the department's been participating in it for the past couple years in collaboration with the high school, and we're currently participating in a book study with the high school on the math workshop book. But we're trying to say that everyone is a math person, because, you know, a lot of our students are like, I can't do math, I hate math, and we're trying to change it to I can do it, and I just maybe can't do it yet. We've mentioned Math Space before. This is aligned with the Virginia SOLs. It's our textbook, so we have a physical textbook we can use, and it is also a digital platform that allows us to do different types of adaptive assignments or custom assignments. and it has a nice little AI helper named Milo. He's a cute little doggy, so they can ask for help. You won't just tell them the answer, but it helps them and it allows them to learn to advocate for themselves first before just saying, help me do this. We also use Zern, which is another learning platform. Right now we're implementing that the students are using at least 30 minutes a week in it, and we can set them at whatever topic and it'll guide them through. They have to work their way up to show mastery before it'll move them to the next topic. And it does include supports that are differentiated, to help our students that are at different levels.
All right, two of the final programs that we use, one is called IXL, and that's a program that we use a lot with our Algebra 1 students. The Zern program only goes from K through 8th grade, so we don't have that available. But the IXL is another digital program that we use. And finally, the Virginia Coach books are a good resource that we can use to review all the standards before they take the tests. In summary, we provided a lot more information in the PowerPoint that you'll be able to go back and read in more depth. Math is hard to teach, and many of you know that. And like she said, so many of our students say, I can't do math, I've never been good at math. And while that's how they think, we're trying to change that attitude, because they can do the math, and they're always surprised when they are successful in it. So that's a big part of our philosophy, is to make the kids know that they can do better in math. We're taking advantage this year of a number of things that changes at the middle school. One big important change is that all the math teachers now have co-planning periods. So that gives us a good opportunity to work together. Miss Miller and I plan our Math 8 classes together, our algebra classes together, so that we can align what we're doing with each other, share strategies, share materials, and things like that. We've also been very lucky for the last 2 years to have support of our principal, Ms. Matson, Dr. Furman, and Mr. Ross. They have given us endless support and help throughout the last 2 years. Together, we're going to continue to improve our strategies and our alignments and work together to inspire our students and prepare them for what they'll be facing in the future. I don't know how many parents come in during parent-teacher conferences and say, I can't help my child. I don't know how to do this work. I just can't help them. And I don't mind telling them that what I'm teaching right now in Math 8 or Algebra 1, I probably didn't cover that until I was taking upper level math in high school, trigonometry. It's just changed that much. So expecting parents to always be the ones to help the kids is not a realistic expectation. And so we try to offer the resources and things that can help the students be more successful. And that's just a brief overview of what we do at Covington Middle School, and thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Yep, ladies, thank you very much. As somebody who never found math naturally easy to absorb, I very much appreciate your efforts. Appreciate that very much. That will then bring us to our next item, 26-132. We have a public hearing for our comprehensive plan. So I'll go ahead and open up the hearing for the comprehensive plan. Mr. Vaughn, do we have anybody signed up?
You did not?
Okay, so nobody signed up. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak on the comprehensive plan? If not, I will entertain a motion to close our public hearing for this.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Mr. Scruggs-Duncan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Morgan. Roll call, please, Ms. Vaughn. Mr. Vaughn, I'm sorry.
Mr. Eric?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Francis?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Littleton?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Scruggs-Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Umstead?
Yes.
Mr. Woodson?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Our next item is 26-133. That is our consent agenda. This is for action. Contained in the consent agenda is the approval of minutes from our October 6th called meeting and October 20th regular meeting. We have the review of bills paid and then a consider approval of the CMS choir students to Doswell, Virginia, May 15th of 26 to May 16th of 2026. Any questions about the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Have a motion. Second. Have a motion by Mr. Umstead, a second by Mr. Littleton. Roll call, please. Mr. Baldwin.
Mr. Eric,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Francis.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Littleton,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Morgan,
Yes.
Ms. Scruggs Duncan.
Yes.
Mr. Umstead,
Yes.
Mr. Woodson.
Yes, sir.
All right. Item 26-134, information. In our informational item in our packet, we have the cafeteria report, the capital improvement and operational maintenance updates, a budget report, and division operational updates and board development materials. Mrs. Halterman, is there anything that you wish to highlight in the informational items?
There's not a ton of new information in that section D today, but I would point out that the first two are about our new app that we have for communicating about buses. It kind of reiterates some information I know that's been before the board before. It's also been in recent media releases. But we've been real pleased with how that's been rolling out at this point. It seems to be a good communication tool for our families. So we just wanted to highlight that for you all tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions on those items from the If not, we will move on to item 26-135, calendar information. A few things coming up in the next month or so. November 19th through the 21st is the VSBA annual convention. November 26th through the 28th is a holiday. All schools and offices closed. December 15th will be our next regular meeting. December 23rd through the 28th, all schools and offices closed. December 29th through January 1st, all schools and offices closed. January 5th will be our reorganizational meeting. January 20th is our first regular meeting of 2026, and January 26th is the VSBA Capital Conference. That would then bring us to item 26-136. We have a report from Jackson River Governor's School. Dr. Grant.
Sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
First, I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight, and I am grateful for the fact that you trust me with the well-being and future of your best and brightest. That is quite an honor. I also commend you for your foresight in offering this opportunity to young men and women. Not all school divisions do that. But actually your school division was a driving force behind the development of this school back in the late 1990s. And your superintendent at the time, the Allegheny County superintendent at the time, was kind of the driving force between getting it off the ground. The school divisions that we currently serve are Allegheny Highlands, Bath County, Botetourt, and Buena Vista. At the time, I think there were 7 school divisions that were in the discussions, and 6 school divisions actually were participating in the beginning. It opened in the year 2000, and it's a very effective partnership between Mount Gateway Community College and the participating school divisions. The students who attend the Governor's School do it in their junior and senior year. They spend a half day with me at the college, and in that half day, over their junior, senior year, they earn 21 college credits. Your school division pays the tuition, and the Governor's School takes care of all their other needs so that a student can actually graduate from the Governor's School without any cost. We are one of 20 regional governor's schools. We're the smallest. We were the first to be located on the college campus, and we were the first to be total college credit. And actually, I think there are only 3 now that are total college credit. The feedback I get from parents in terms of the money that the governor's school saves them in college tuition is almost an unbelievable figure. I have a folder for you to take with you that has several items in it. But one of the items in there is a copy of a press release about one of your graduates and an interview with the parents of the student that the college did a year or so ago. And the amount of money that family feels that the governor's school and the school division saved them in terms of college costs. If I recall correctly, this individual graduated with a bachelor's degree and a total investment from the family of like $5,000 over 4 years. So it is a valuable resource for you and for your students. In the first year the students are with us, they actually earn a career study certificate from the college. It's totally separate than their governor's school diploma and the things that we award them. And with only 25 more credits, they can earn an associate degree from Mount Gateway Community Valley. And those credits typically are the things that they're going to take anyway to meet their high school graduation requirements. I think this year, all but 4 of our students are also earning an associate degree, which is a phenomenal number. It fluctuates from year to year, but this is a really high participation year for our students. Any questions at this point? Okay. I seem to repeat what I said the last time, so if you remember that, I'm sure I'm boring you, but the governor's school underwent a 6-year one-side evaluation from the Department of Education last spring. It's the 3rd one I think I've been through in my time there. And it's the first one that I found to be really genuine and effective. And your governor's school did very well in that evaluation. Some of you were involved in that in terms of interview. We had a really good team, and it was a great experience. So I would like to now do the highlight of my presentation, which is Miss Emma Skidmore. Emma is a senior at Allegheny High School. She's also a senior at Jackson River Governor's School. And she's going to talk to you just a bit about her experience at the Governor's School.
Good evening. My name is Emma Skidmore, and I'm a senior at Allegheny High School. I'm also a student at Jackson River Governor's School. I chose to attend Governor's School because I wanted to save money, get ahead, and challenge myself. Through Jackson River Governor's School, I'm going to be earning my associate's degree, which will help me cut down on years in college and prepare me for my future. There are many things that I like about Governor's School. I appreciate that the classes challenge me academically and push me to think deeper. I enjoy being surrounded by motivated students who take their work seriously. It also creates an environment where everyone is encouraged to succeed. I also value that I'm earning real college credits that will transfer and support me as I continue my education. Gov School has opened many doors for me, and it continues to offer me new opportunities. It's very different from the high school. We're held to a higher standard and we're expected to manage ourselves, and we're given much more freedom. We're treated like college students, while high school still has many restrictions and rules. That independence has pushed me to grow and adapt and take responsibility for my learning. I truly believe more students should consider Governor's School. It's a great opportunity to get ahead academically and gain real life skills like time management, communication, and self-discipline. The rigor isn't for everyone, but it's an incredible chance to experience college level work and discover more about yourself. Next year, I go off to college and I'll carry all the skills that it's taught me, how to study effectively, manage my time, and balance multiple responsibilities. My plan is to major in health and exercise science and become an occupational therapist. Thank you.
I promised her you would have lots of questions.
Any questions?
So would you like to ask Emma a question?
I'll ask Emma a question.
Okay.
The time that it takes you to do all this and then to after school to get ready for the next day. Do you feel like you're missing anything socially by not being down there with other kids?
Well, I work after school and I also have many athletic endeavors, so I'm not missing much, but it's a really time consuming, but I've learned to balance. It's helped me balance a lot.
It's an important lesson.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, from a preparatory perspective, do you feel like it's opened up any opportunities to the school of your choice or your school of your hopes, I guess? Do you feel like you have a leg up on competition to get into those schools that you?
I do feel like I have a little bit of a leg up, but yeah, I feel like I have a little bit of a leg up because I'm a little bit more prepared. Thank you.
In light of your question, it is amazing the number of governor school students who actually hold down a part-time job and participate in sports. I have some students who participate in sport every season. I have students who do that and work part-time. I actually have a student who's carrying 26 credit hours this semester and making A's and B's. It's nice to be the dumbest person in the room. It really is. Yeah. You have any questions of me?
I just, from a personal perspective, you know, my son obviously went there. When he finished, he had 73 credits combined with the governor's school credits and with the extra kind of stuff. But you know, he could have graduated in a year and a half with his bachelor's degree. The only reason he didn't was he wanted to use his eligibility to compete. And I can't say enough about when he was a freshman. He felt like it was old school. You know, some of his classes at college were easier than his classes at governor's school. So it's a great opportunity. I second it. I think it's a huge opportunity for this area, for kids that want to, you know, apply themselves. You know, I know it's a busy day, but if you wanted to put in the work, it's a huge opportunity and a huge financial advantage to the kids and the families and everything of that nature. So appreciate your leadership at the school, and it's a very well ran program. Thank you.
Thank you. Many years ago, when I first started doing this, I wasn't aware, but I've come to believe that the transition experiences that the students get at the governor's school are probably the most valuable thing they get there, even though the credits are really important and save quite a bit of money. But in terms of student success, I really think that experience that prepares them. A lot of students they come back and talk with me after college, and they tell me that it wasn't nearly as hard as they thought it was going to be, and they felt very well prepared. Yes. Mr. Umstead?
What's the criteria to get in?
A student must have completed Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry with a grade of at least B. And most importantly, they must have the recommendation of their teachers at their high school that teach science and math, and the guidance department. So there is a process where they're evaluated by the school, and the school actually selects the person who comes. One thing about our school is that a student who actually meets qualifications and is recommended is sure to get in. And we may be the only governor's school in the state in which that is true. because most are operated by more populated school divisions, and they have slots per division, and it's very competitive to earn those.
Anybody ever started and not finished?
Yes, that happens. Sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for not so good. We typically lose 3-4 students a year in the first year for various reasons, but basically it was more often than not the fact that they weren't prepared for the rigor and weren't willing to put the time and effort in. All the students who come have the ability to be successful. The schools do a very good job of screening students and recommending them, but until they actually get there and are faced with the difference in the college level work, there's sometimes not as enthusiastic as they were to begin with. It is required that they make a grade of C minimum in each course to remain in the governor's school. But for a student who's willing to work and make the effort, they can be successful. There's lots of support. We actually have built-in tutoring and support sessions in our schedule for first-year students. And basically it is student choice. That answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody else? Well, thank you for inviting me, and I hope to see you again next fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Graham. Thank you. All right. Appreciate that again from Dr. Graham. We will then move on to item 26-137, consider approval of Special Education Advisory Committee and Career Technical Education Advisory Committees. This is for action.
Yes, Chairman Garrett, members of the board, this is something coming back to you this month. These are our committees that we have specifically to advise career technical education and special education. They are different from our other advisory committees. We have lots of different advisory committees for lots of different things. These two do indicate an approval from the board, so that the board can see their membership exactly, and that membership's attached. They're pretty robust committees, so we're happy to answer any questions, but this is for approval tonight.
Any questions from the board? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval. We have a motion by Mr. Littleton. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Umstead. Roll call, please, Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hare?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Franson?
Yes.
Mr. Littleton?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Scruggs Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Umstead?
Yes.
Mr. Woodson?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on, item 26-138, consider approval of Cougar Compass diplomacy. This is also for action. Mr. Cantrell.
Sure. Good evening, Chairman Harriet, school board members, Ms. Halterman, Ms. Johnson. Mr. Ross, I know, shared this last month. It's an idea that we came up to just honor what we're looking for in a graduate at Allegheny High School that's well-rounded academically, that's involved in clubs and activities, that gives back to our community, and also is future ready with their going to college, going to the workforce. So it kind of lays out the different parts of the compass that we're looking for. And the hope is that we can reward these students with a diploma seal and a pen that can go on their gown for graduation. They would have to fill out an application. It's an application process that shows that they've met these requirements within this program. It's pretty easy as you go through it. You kind of look. The academic part has they have to meet all, and then the different ones within that is one or the other within those parts of it. So we kind of looked as our admin team, department, guidance counselors, our students, and kind of what are we looking for as a student that walks out this door? What do we want that high bar to be? And this kind of encompasses that program. So we're excited about this opportunity, something that we can put out there for our students to have year in and year out, and hope that we could get approval there. But if you have any questions, I'd gladly answer those.
Questions from Mr. Cantrell?
No, I just think it's a wonderful program.
So we approve this tonight, this seals will be on this graduating.
Yes, we'll get the application process out. I think the hope's to have that by the end of April, so that students can turn that in. We get the diploma seals ordered and have those pins ready to go for them. We've already got them priced and ready, and something that, you know, we can get out there and start sharing what it is and how they can earn it. We have a lot of them that would already earn it, but just something, a good way to reward our students.
There's no way for you to know what percentage you're gonna have.
Well, not, you know, not with the application piece of it, but that kind of just adds that college-ready part, to take that initiative, to take some ownership in that program. You know, the hope would be we could get, you know, in that neighborhood of, I would say, 25 to 50 with that. And I think that would be outstanding for year one, and see if we can grow on that. I would assume we'd have that many that would need it.
Any other questions, comments? If not, I don't think we should keep Mr. Cantrell waiting. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Umstead.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Scruggs Duncan. Roll call, please, Mr. Vaughn.
Mr. Eric?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Franson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Littleton?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Morgan?
Yes.
Mrs. Scruggs Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Umstead?
Yes.
Mr. Woodson?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Moving on, item 26-139, bullying prevention activities recap. This is for information.
Yes, and Chairman Eric, members of the board, this recap we like to provide for you every year after we complete Bullying Prevention Month. And of course, as a reminder, we're always doing bullying prevention. But Mr. Ross, who's not able to be here with us tonight, does a wonderful job of compiling activities that are done specifically in October, and they do vary school by school, but they're really interesting to kind of take a look at. One of the things that I think Melinda and I would emphasize is that there are several activities that have promoted student reflection on the list, so opportunities for students to talk through problem solving, different kinds of things they can do when they're faced with a conflict or other challenge in their school day. So a lot of different activities, very age appropriate, and there's a number of links in this document, which is of course also available to the public on our website, that will take you to a longer list of those activities. But we just commend our principals, our teachers, our counselors, everybody who's been involved in this effort, and there's a pretty full list there for your information and exploration.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments from the board? All right, moving on, item 26-140. We have planning and other professional development in reference to possible inclement weather days. This is for information.
Chairman Eric, members of the board, I'm talking a lot tonight, so thank you all for bearing with me. These are reminders about our inclement weather day plans. We are planning on using codes again this year to communicate with our 12-month staff. Importantly, those refer to our 12-month staff, so those are not items that affect our teachers and our paraprofessionals in general. They're for 12-month individuals and for communicating what their work schedules are. We did want to include a reminder this year, because we did need to use this last year, that if necessary, we certainly can call in staff to work. If there's a snow day where students are out, perhaps we've had several in a row, we need to do some planning. It's not our plan to do that all the time. That's just something we wanted to remind people of, because that was something that we needed last year after we missed a large stretch in February. We also want to also reiterate that it's not our plan to do virtual learning on every snow day. We can do that if we need to do that for our students, but that's not typically our plan. So we just wanted to bring that for you tonight. Their fact sheet about weather closures is still remain available on our website, and it explains how we communicate about them. One of the important things to kind of note is if we have to make a decision in the middle of the night, which we try very hard not to do, we go ahead and put that out on media, because we respect the fact that there are people in the community who may need to make plans quickly. They might be doing shift work, something like that. They might need to see that on a news site. We won't call you though, unless we really have to before 6 in the morning.
Thank you very much. Any questions about it at that item? Moving on then, item 26-141, preschool VQB5. This is for information.
Would you like me to do this?
You may, Mr. Callahan, if you'd like.
Sure. This is easy. They're all great.
Okay. Well, come on up and tell us.
I will. Oh, I get blinded by this. So just for your knowledge, this information contains school quality profiles, much like what you see with SOL results and ESSA regulations. All 4 of our schools, which every school has at least 2 early childhood / preschool classrooms, one of them has 3. They all met their expectations, and they're getting really, really close to exceeding the expectations. So very proud of it. We do have one parent up there of one of the teachers, and a couple more. So they're awesome. So I feel really good where the program is with our kids, our 3 and 4-year-olds. So happy to entertain any questions.
Questions?
Data speaks for itself.
I just want to say, as a parent who's had a child through the program, it's very good.
It makes a big difference, and once we get a hold of ETI, it's just that much fun.
Thank you.
I'll hang out.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Callahan. Up next would be item 26-142, review of the 26-27 academic calendar. This is a draft and for information.
Yes, that's for information. We'll ask for approval next month. What you see is a culmination of a couple of events that we've had with calendar committee representatives from each of the buildings. Pretty similar to what we did this past year. You know, I kind of laugh because Mr. Wright always said he wanted a calendar where we went after Labor Day and got it before Memorial Day. And we could do that. You would just have 3 work days for the entire year, 1 day at Thanksgiving and 2 at Christmas. But you could do that. You could condense it. I don't think our staff would enjoy that so much. But if you have any questions on this, I'll be happy to answer them now, or you can get in touch with me prior to next month. Like I said, very similar. We did make a couple of changes on full PD days, and we split those between professional development and work day. Typically, we don't have more than 3 hours of professional development in a given day because nobody really wants to sit there. So.
Any questions about the proposed calendar, Mr. Callahan?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, under administrative reports and recommendations, we have item 26-143, consider approval of board norms. This is for action. Of course, this is a continuation of the norms that the board took a look at on our September 8th work session, and then again this past Thursday. So I just want to say I appreciate the board's time and consideration on this. I know when we look to take a look at our bylaws, if you will, in common parlance, it's sometimes can be a very fun endeavor where we get to discuss sort of governance philosophies that we operate by. So I very much appreciate all the conversation. One of the things that I think came out of our last work session, you know, we got to the root, I think, of just the different flows of communication that different boards can have. And one of the things that we talked about at that work session was there's different ways to go about how a board sort of organizes its communication structure. But we are near to the end of this year, this term, for a couple of our members who will be rotating off. So it may be well for the board to consider. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that we consider postponing this vote until our regular meeting in January. But before we do any of that, happy to entertain any other discussion.
Could you repeat what you just said?
I would like for us to postpone any norms and protocols discussion until our regular meeting in January.
Would you like me to make a motion to that?
You may if you would like.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
So we have a motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Olmsted, a second by Ms. Scruggs Duncan. Mr. Vaughn, when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Eric?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Franson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Littleton?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Scruggs Duncan? Mr. Umstead?
Yes.
Mr. Woodson?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. That would then bring us to item 26-144, Virginia Association of School Superintendents Legislative Priorities. This is for information. Mrs. Altman.
Chairman, Garrett, members of the board, these are the commonly called the VAPS legislative priorities. So Ms. Steve Johnson and I have input on these. These are from our professional organization, and they're coming to you for information tonight with potential action at your next meeting. So basically, if you go to the link at the bottom, or the link that is showing right now that shows you what those priorities are, you have them divided out into several sections. From a governance and budget perspective, the Superintendent's Association basically is continuing to advocate for more state funding in some particular ways. Some pieces of involvement in addressing the teacher shortage and some flexibility there and helping us address that more fully. On the assessment item, that may be a little bit more detailed this year than in previous years because of the amount of changes that are going on at the state. The Superintendent's Association it has been pleased with the phased rollout that Ms. Holzapfel was referencing earlier, that is happening where we have a couple of years to kind of transition into the new cut scores. So you'll see some information about that. It's pretty detailed this year in the testing section, as well as to a lesser extent in the accountability and accreditation section that relates directly back to SOL testing. Then a position on safety and dual enrollment. Basically, you've heard tonight, part through the governor's school, we also have students who are dual enrolled in other capacities, just how important that is for our students. So there's some advocacy there to have some additional flexibility in who can teach dual enrollment courses. So we're happy to entertain questions, of course, but this is something that you might consider endorsing next go-round, next month.
Questions? A couple questions. But so I was wondering, did this discussion take place at all around using any of the lottery or the casino funding for teacher salary support if in lieu of construction or maintenance? You know, a lot of divisions are flush on buildings and grounds and maintenance, but none of us are flush on teachers and teacher salary. So was that ever discussed?
Well, that's a great question. These discussions happen regionally, so it could be that discussion happened somewhere in the state. In our region, that wasn't the focus, but it definitely doesn't mean that wasn't discussed. One of the thoughts that we've often had around the lottery funds is exactly how they're utilized, because they're not, a lot of times people perceive them as over and above funding, and that's not really how it's set up. So appreciate your question very much, but wouldn't want to wager if that's not been discussed in some other area.
Yes. Thank you. We could
Yeah.
explicitly somehow get that in some gears, it'd be good. And then the other thing, could you, and this kind of unrelated to this, but kind of is, I guess, but is there a way, now that the cut score rollout has been kind of announced, is there a way for you to put together one pager that describes, you know, the requirements in 2027 and then the phase rollout through 2030, so the board gets a fully kind of look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. We're waiting on some real official clarification on that, you know, so that we know in good detail what that is, because that information is pretty hot off the presses. Right. But I think you're right. I think that's a useful communication piece. It may actually get made for us by the state, but it could also be done locally. One of the things I think that we would also share is that we may still see some fluctuation in the model. I don't think it'll be giant fluctuations in the model that we're seeing right now, but there's still some questions that are being worked on, especially related to 3E, that piece with the high schools, okay? So in fairness, would want to say that right up front. But yeah, I think that's a real kind of thing. And it's helpful to visualize, because it is a little bit challenging, and for me, when I put my parent hat on more than my school professional hat, the difference in the cut scores is significant, right? Because we're so used to thinking of 400 as pass.
Right. That's all I have, sorry.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. You have a question?
No.
Any other questions? Okay. Moving on then, item 26-145, vehicle updates. We have some vehicles recommended for sale, and this is for action.
Sorry, I'm having to catch up on my computer screen here, apologies. Chairman Eric, members of the board, on behalf of Mrs. Lemaster, I'm happy to share that we have a couple of vehicles, 2 vehicles, that we'd like to sell. They are from the 1990s, which I do not like to admit was long ago. But it was requested for action this evening, if that's possible and appropriate for the board.
Okay. Any questions or comments on these 2 vehicles, or does anybody want to buy them?
I think it's conflict of interest.
Good point. Good point. If not, if no questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval. A motion by Mr. Littleton. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Morgan. Roll call, please, Mr. Mullins.
Mr. Herrick?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Franson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Littleton?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Scruggs Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Armstead?
Yes.
Mr. Woodson?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Item 26-146, free and reduced lunch rate. This is for information.
And Chair, Mayor, members of the board, this is a table showing our current free and reduced lunch rate. As a reminder, the CEP rate is what's appropriate for us as a division, because we are a CEP division, meaning that all of our students can eat free meals. So it's important to keep our eyes on these numbers, and as a matter of transparency, we make sure that you know them every year. Mr. Callahan, am I leaving anything out? I know you're far, far away over there.
No, you're not leaving anything out. The one that does throw a little bit of concern would be Callahan being below 40%. We have enough to carry division-wide, but if that number stays in the 30s, then we may have to be looking at something else as far as them not being part of the CEP program, which would stink. But Deborah does a good job lumping them all in and making it a division-wide program until we get told not, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, Mr. Callahan, what is it below that? What does that mean to stay above it? What do we have?
40%.
Any other questions? If not, we'll move on to one policy for revision. Item 26-147, review of policy LBD. This is for information.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Garrett, our chairman, and members of the board. Policy LBD has implications to those families that home instruct their students, and they provide us documentation that there is religious exemption in their reason for homeschooling. This provides more clarification related to the Virginia Code and using some communication decisions that maybe aren't clear to everyone, and this policy tries to clear that up for our families and our staff, and we believe it's something that needs to be considered at the December 2025 meeting from the policy committee standpoint. So, are there any questions?
Questions from the board?
How many kids are homeschooled?
About 235 students are homeschooled in our division, and that number fluctuates from year to year, and probably about 10% of those students may be of the religious exemption nature, and they're included in that number. So, and I can provide more information next month if you'd like to have that.
No, I'm just in my head figuring out with the state fundings we get for those students, them not being here is costing us, what, $2 million?
Yes, sir. It would be a nice amount of money if those students were in our division. But their families have chosen not to provide all the required documentation to do so by Code of Virginia.
Seeing that I'm new to the board, I'm going to ask an Umstead question. Have we ever talked to those people and asked them why?
Last year, we provided a survey to those families and asked them if they would consider coming back to the division for whatever their reason might be, gave them an opportunity to do a survey of a nature. One-on-one, no sir, we have not, but we did offer them that opportunity to talk to us about returning their students to public schools. We got, I believe, 7 responses, and we sent out about 250 surveys to our families.
Doesn't seem like much, does it?
No, sir, but it's always worth another try. So,
Yep.
thank you for that question.
Thank you for answering.
Any other questions about policy LBD? If not, we will move on to 26-148, additions to the agenda, which we have none. Bringing us to item 26-149, public comment. Mr. Vaughn, do we have anyone signed up? Do not. Don't suppose anybody wants to speak? Okay. With that, then, we will move on to 26-150, school board member and superintendent comments. Volunteer, Ms. Crutchlow?
Go ahead. First, I'd like to say it's really nice to have Mr. Franson back amongst us. Glad you have healed, coming back. I wanted to thank the CMS teachers for giving us some insight into what they're doing to meet the changes that are coming. And I really appreciated them being down here and getting us a peek inside their plan. Kudos to Mr. Graham on the success of the Governor's School. I know the students and their hard work is a major factor, but the steady and seasoned leadership is certainly a contributing factor. I've seen it in action, and we appreciate that and the success of the Governor's School.
Thank you.
I wanted to congratulate all of our fall sports teams, both the girls and the boys, for not just winning, but for operating in a sportsmanlike and in some cases lately a very courageous manner. It speaks well of the future of our community, and I appreciate them. And also wanted to welcome Mr. Lanford and Ms. Clemens to the group. I'm glad you're here, getting a little advanced seasoning on this, and we appreciate your willingness to serve.
Thank you. Mr. Woodson.
Yes, sir. Now, kind of second a lot of what Tammy says. Good to have you back, Mr. Francis. Appreciate you being here. Our two new, soon-to-be new board members, welcome. And you'll be drinking out of a fire hose soon, but welcome. You know, also around the fall sports teams, I think we had a very successful season, and you know, the football team showed a lot of grit. You know, hats off to those young men for being able to play and play hard in the face of the situations they were faced with, and prayers for that whole situation will continue for months to come. Likewise, Mr. Graham, thank you for being here. It's always good to see you, buddy. And I guess I've been associated with Mr. Graham since I was 16 years old, which I'm not going to say how long it's been. It's been a while. But welcome.
And I was an old man then.
Welcome, and thanks for being here, and thanks for the work you did at Governor's School. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Woodson. Ms. Moore.
Yes, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. I too would like to welcome our new members to the board. Lovely to see you this evening. Also great to hear from the Covington Middle School team and what they shared in making math fun. As Mr. Eric said, it's never been one of the most fun things to do, so I appreciate all the work they're doing around it. Thank you to Mr. Graham. I get a front row seat being able to represent our school on that board, and I'm always amazed by what the students can do and what they come up with, and the vigorous work that's put before them, and they always rise to the challenge.
They do.
So thank you for supporting them in all that you do. And Ms. Goodmore was lovely to hear her speak to us. And you know, we're in the season of Thanksgiving and all of our blessings and things that we're grateful for. And over the last week or so, we once again have been shown how our community always comes together in the toughest times. And not only has it been difficult, I know, for our students, but our staff as well, because a lot of the burden rests on their shoulders to show up in that building and support the staff every day. And I know it's hard. So thank you for everything you do, and I hope we all can take time to think about and reflect something that we're thankful for during this season. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Armstead.
Yeah. Sorry, I have nothing negative to say, so we'll just say positive things. Sherman, thank you for your performance. I'm going to miss you when you're not here. You've got to stay, especially now that I know where you live. Mr. Graham, I love that. I would love it probably twice as much if there were 32 kids in Governor's School instead of just 16 or 20, whatever it is. And the middle school teachers, I think math is the easiest subject to teach, and they convinced me of it tonight. My granddaughter has one of them. My granddaughter hated math last year. Every day she calls and says, "Papa, I get it. It's easy." The teacher explained it to me. What a simple task that must be, to explain something. The athletic teams, as an old coach and an old athlete, football did remarkably well. Girls volleyball made it to the final 8 and lost to the same school at the same place in Christiansburg for the regional championship. Amazing. Our cross-country runner, Ms. Lohman, finished second in the state. Amazing. We have amazing athletes for this area that we live in. And I think that goes to parenting, goes to coaching, goes to teaching, and mainly goes to support. You're not going to have athletes if they don't have people in the stands and they don't hear positive things said about us. And the only negative thing I'm going to say, and it's positive really, is that we had a tragedy that took place. If I start to choke up, it's because I knew the person. It bothered me. But I don't think any school system could have handled it any better than we did. Hats off to everybody that helped with that problem. That's enough.
Thank you, Mr. Armstead.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Little.
I just want to thank everybody for coming here tonight. I reckon I'll sound like a broken record. I just want to greatly thank our wonderful 5 great ladies that came from the middle school math teachers. They did a wonderful job. Proof's in the pudding, as I said earlier tonight. They're working hard and making changes in these kids. So that is great. Also want to thank Dr. Graham for coming. I've known him for a long time as well. Not quite as long as Jay. Someone of the same. But I also just want to thank everybody in the division for all their hard work. You know, the holidays are coming up, as Ms. Morgan said. I hope everyone has a wonderful time over the holidays and gets plenty of great things to eat and spends great time with their family, because that's what matters the most, is, you know, good fellowship with our friends and family. And I'll end on a quick short little story. The other week I had a couple things come by my office, and I took them down to the bus garage because I always appreciate those guys for what they do. And when I was down there, they were so excited to show me the brand new school bus that came in that day. So they took me in there and showed it to me. And John, sit in the seat, just check it all out. And I did something, and the thing didn't work for 10 minutes. So I don't want to touch anything in the bus garage again. But they got it going again. But I just want to thank everyone from the bus drivers to the maintenance guys, administration, teachers, paraprofessionals. And I know I'm leaving people out, and I apologize, but you're all included. It takes the village, as I say very commonly, but and I'm just proud to be a part of this village. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Osborne.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Gerald, you got to talk, Gerald.
Mr. Franson, I am so sorry. I'm just not used to seeing you sit there, and I looked right past you. Mr. Franson.
That's all right. I too want to welcome everybody who came tonight. Okay? I want to thank the math teachers at CMS for being proactive, for taking the extra miles to teach these kids. Okay? You got to make it fun for them. If you want them to learn, it has to be something they're interested in. Otherwise, they'll sit back there like she was describing, no idea what's going on in life. Okay? But congratulations. I mean, that instructional moment has been a real plus for me in the meetings they've had. Dr. Graham, thank you very much for the work you do at the governor's school. I'm kind of like Bob. Well, I hate to say that, but with the same idea. Okay. I'd like to see more kids in it. You know, I noticed that we had a whole lot more kids in others division, other schools, but that's a plus for our kids, and a plus for the parents. I mean, when you can get your kids go through the governor's school, and their cost of education in college is a lot less. Thank you for what you do and all the hard work. Ms. Simmons, she got up there, she did a good presentation. I was impressed with her. Okay? It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude sometimes to get up in front of a group of people. And as she was sitting here shaking her leg, and I knew she was a little nervous, but she did good. She did good. Okay. Mr. Lunsford, Ms. Clements, thank you for coming. Thank you for wanting to serve. Okay, it is a challenge sometimes. Okay, a challenge. But if you just keep one thing over it, we're here not because we want an award, but because we want these kids to do better. We want to improve their standards. We want to have them to learn better. You know, just it's all about our kids. We never need to forget about that, okay? I want to congratulate the sports teams. I know it was a tough time, but they hung in there. Staff hung in there. Proud of y'all. That thing I want to do is I want to thank y'all, okay? I want to thank all the staff. I mean, you guys do above and beyond every day. You work hard, you care about our kids, and that's what matters. I can't express that enough. That is what matters, is getting our kids educated and teach them life skills. You know, when I first got on the school board, when we went to Charlottesville for our orientation, that was the biggest complaint I heard, was that teachers have to teach our kids civility, social skills, how to deal with each other. That is not something we should have to be doing. That is us as parents should be doing. We need to teach our kids those things. That way our teachers have more time to teach arithmetic and English. Now math I always liked. English, you know, and you can look at how I write and how I do my sentences and figure that out. But thank y'all for caring and all the hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Franson. Now, Superintendent Halterman, if you will, please.
Yeah, I'm going to feel like a broken record here too, but a lot of good things happened tonight I'd love to reflect on. Wonderful to hear from Covington Middle School, and those teachers are working with students at an interesting age as well. So they've really been focused for the past couple of years on some improving outcomes, and the goalposts have moved a bit, right? At the same time, and yet they're still making that progress and still keeping those kids motivated, and that's not easy work. It's really rewarding work, and I'm really glad to see that they are seeing progress and fruits of that labor. Always good to hear from the governor's school. We appreciated both our speakers on that this evening. And we want to emphasize how many programs we have in our small community. We are really fortunate to be a big, small school division that can offer the number of programs we do to our secondary school students. So that obviously includes the governor's school, it obviously includes the technical center, it now includes MG Tech, it includes lots of options for our kids. And we really want our kids to talk about those options, think about those options, and realize that some of them might go together. You don't always have to pick just one. So it depends on what kind of the student wants to do. So we're really excited about that and really proud of that, and that's an unusual feature of a school division this size, and we appreciate you all as a board and our whole community consistently advocating funding that and allocating that. That's what we can keep that going. It is American Education Week, which is a wonderful week for our educators, and it wasn't the easiest week last week, of course. And so we really appreciate the way our full team pulled together and helped address, a very difficult situation, and obviously the loss of a student, which is very challenging for all of us. And it really just takes a lot of fortitude. So we want to say thank you for our team for hanging in there. We are also excited about our athletic success. We thought about volleyball and cross country and football and really everyone who's come out and participated, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal to participate. And hot off the presses today, we have 13 students and 1 alternate in all district course. So we're really excited about that as well. So that's brand new information. So that's obviously exciting for us, because we just really believe our students should be involved in something, whatever is appropriate for them and their interests. We're glad to see our new board members here. So welcome aboard. Will be another party to say that to you tonight. We're glad to have you. And I believe that was all my list, but there were a lot of things on that list tonight, so I hope I didn't leave anything out.
Well, unfortunately, we got through all 6 colleagues here, and I thought I was going to be the first one to mention American Education Week from me, so that's okay. I will ditto quickly everything everybody else said. Dr. Graham, thank you for being here. I thought Ms. Gidmore did well in her presentation. Mr. Lanford, Ms. Clemens, look forward to working with you. Thank you for being here as well. Our CMS math department, I thought that was a nice presentation that they gave us kind of the nuts and bolts of what we're doing to try to get more aligned there. And then, of course, American Education Week is, I mean, we commonly thank teachers from the dais here, as we should, but American Education Week is just a full week where we all get to say thank you to all the teachers. So we have a lot here, so thank you very much for everything that you do.
I forgot one quick thing, and
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cantrell's probably already all over it, but, you know, I was at the game Friday over at Turner Ashby, and I really thought that they really showed a lot of class. Class act, I don't know if there's if we could compose a letter or thank you or something of that nature. You've probably already thought about it, I'm sure, but I just thought that was exceptional, the way that they showed us support, and I just wanted to add that. I forgot to add that in my minute, but thank you for allowing me to do that.
So, thank you all for being here this evening. Our next item is 26-151 closed session. 2.2-3711A1 personnel matters, actual potential appointments, assignments, resignations, terminations, salaries, and consideration of employee grievance case S2609 relating to assignment. 2.2-3711A2 student matters, discussion and consideration of disciplinary matters. 2.2-3711A7 legal matters, discussion briefing by staff pertaining to actual probable litigation. 2.2-3711A19 discussion of school safety reports. Do I have a motion to enter closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Morgan, second by Mr. Umstead. Roll call, please.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Francis? Yes. Mr. Littleton?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Morgan?
Yes.
Ms. Scruggs Stockton? Mr. Umstead? Mr. Umstead?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Closed session. Well, you were talking.
Yeah.